Let's take time out for these commercial messages about the worldwide wrestling events coming up in your area.
Fans, don't miss the absolute best in action-packed wrestling next Saturday at 1 p.m. here on WPCQ TV. Now let me remind you of a great card at the West Caldwell High School Gym. That's Lenoir, North Carolina, Friday, May 6th. Gene Anderson, One Man Gang, Solomon Humperdinck. You'll also see Johnny Weaver, Mike Rotundo, Joe Deduc, Crazy, Bugsy McGraw, Jimmy the Boo Goo Man Valiant, and others. Exciting wrestling, super spectacular card, Charlotte Coliseum, Sunday, May 15th. World title on the line, Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat against Kabuki and the Magic Dragon with Gary Hart. Jack and Gerald Brisco against Jake the Snake Robertson, Dory Funk Jr. TV title, Dick Slater against Joe Deduc. U.S. title, Greg Valentine against Roddy Piper. Let's go right now to Gary Hart.
Let me tell you something, Steamboat and Youngblood. You have the tag team titles. You are the world's heavyweight champions. But Kabuki and the Magic Dragon can take away from you more than the title. They can take away your very soul, brother. They can take away the sight from your eyes. They can take away your pride. They can take everything away that you have worked so hard for to keep for one reason. They're not Americans like you. They don't understand defeat like you. They don't understand 1, 2, 3. They only understand ultimate victory.
And here they are, the champions, Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood.
You know something, Bill? These two Asians that have come into this area have proven themselves as a tag team combination to reckon with. I attribute a lot of my success because I use martial arts in the ring. I only use what I'm able to use through the NWA. But it seems as though these two Asians who have no heart or no soul will use everything within their power to win a match. Gary Hart, you get up here and you tell everybody that they'll take our soul away from us. Well, brother, we've been down so far and beaten so far down where we couldn't see any light, but we bounced right back. They say they'll take the eyes from us. If they take mine, Jason will be my eyes for me. They say that they'll take our pride. Well, brother, we've bled. We've had cage matches. We've had Slaughter and Canoodle on our backs for so long and finally rid of them. You can't take the pride away from us because we're proud world tag team champions here in Charlotte.
Roddy Piper, United States heavyweight champion. A proud man he is.
Certainly is. Current U.S. heavyweight champion. The tough battle was one of probably the greatest ones that we've had in Jake Valentine, but Piper did defeat him.
That's right, he did, but the problem is that Valentine has already stated that he is not finished with Roddy Piper yet, that he is going to get even, that he's going to hurt him one way or another. And the thing is, John, he and Dick Slater, I'm talking about Greg Valentine and Dick Slater, they're always saying that they're together. No matter whether Dick Slater's wrestling or not, he's around where Valentine is. And that's a problem when you've got those two around.
It certainly is, David, but I do understand, too, that the NWA has been asked to look into, investigate some of the tactics that these two guys have been using or what they're about to use.
That is correct. The National Wrestling Alliance Rules Committee has, all right, this man right now that has Piper in a predicament, Red Dog Lane, what a tough wrestler he is, and he can wrestle.
No slouch in himself right there as a former AAU champion, 3 times national champion for Colorado State, and mixing it up with Roddy Piper right now.
Piper goes to the fist. Lane takes Lane over, headlock, holds him down. You've got to keep Lane down on that mat because if you let loose of him, watch out.
But then Lane has got to control Roddy Piper's temper because
yes,
we've seen many, many explosions of Roddy Piper's temper. When he goes wild, there's nothing to stop him. And it doesn't seem the punches that the opponents throw at him seem to phase him when he gets into that stage. Gets in like a trauma and nothing hurts him.
That's right.
And then he just all of a sudden explodes.
All right, now Lane's got Piper's got the arm, got the leg.
You know, David, many times we witnessed some great matches on here.
Look at him, he's got him tilted over, just about. Piper rolls on over.
Most of the time we see Larry Lane tying up those legs, grapevining the legs. Oh, Piper, one of those timbers coming up right now.
Into the ice, the temper, it has gone. Oh, the fuse is lit. About to explode. Piper. Hart fist to the head. Takes Lane. Whips it into that turnbuckle. Got the knee. By Lane.
Staggered. Drops Piper to the mat. Piper fouled him in. An elbow by Lane.
Lane takes him out.
There's him.
Forearm.
Batted forearms that Lane fires in there. Watch this, David. Hard. Double arm suplex by Red Dog Lane. Piper could be in trouble for that one.
Lane's trying for that stretch. John just doesn't have it locked yet.
U.S.
Piper
champion.
comes around. He rolls him over. He's got it.
By the U.S. champion.
Very good match. United States heavyweight champion Roddy Piper and Red Dog Lane.
Right here, Piper reverses that abdominal stretch, rolls him to the mat, and he's going to roll him right into the pinning position. The winner of our match, the United States heavyweight champion, Roddy Piper.
And with me, coming in right now, the United States heavyweight champion, Roddy Piper.
Been a long time coming. Yeah, been a long time coming. Worked mighty hard for it, too.
Greg Valentine, he said he's not finished with you yet, that he's...
Yeah, but the problem is... Scares me to death. Yeah, the problem is, as we were saying before, he's shooting blanks.
Jack Brisco, world heavyweight champion. Jerry Brisco, junior world heavyweight champion.
One of the teams is claiming to be the #1 contenders for the world belt. Right in here, they're up against Bill White. We also have Gene Anderson back on the program. And you know, the Anderson brothers were world tag team champions. They were almost untouchable in the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. And here's Gene now in there. And they're no strangers with the Anderson brothers and the Brisco brothers.
Look at there, tying up. Gene, all right, they're back in. Jack wisely, nice fireman's carry. Comes up, has that arm bar, quickly tags Jerry, holds on. I don't blame you. Hold on.
Double leg takedown by Jerry. He's going to move to the riding position.
All right, John, we need to talk too, again, about the situation with Ricky Steamboat, Jay Youngblood, Jack and Jerry Brisco.
Awful controversial question right there. Did he fall accidentally?
You fans out there,
Got to make up their own opinion.
You have to make up your mind. You know both teams. You know what type of individuals they are. I've talked to Jack and Jerry, and they've said that once you've been a champion, it's all like being a gambler. It gets in your blood. You don't want to let it go. You can't let it go. So you just don't know.
Well, I guess
there is a question of whether Jack could have gotten out of the way or not.
There certainly is, and I guess that'll be discussed many times by people all over. And I guess no one but Jack Brisco really knows in his mind. To me, he looked like he was awful stretched out to fall right there. But
that's right.
When you get hit with a good hard vicious chop, you don't know where you're at.
That's right. Jack has issued a challenge to Steamboat Youngblood to wrestle him. Steamboat has accepted. So right now, Steamboat 2, you've got the Briscoes, you've got Sergeant Slaughter and Don Canola.
Yes.
That could
be a real stopper right there.
Hey, that's right, because the situation they have with Sergeant Slaughter and Don Canola is that one team is not going to come out of the situation. And that's to be decided. So hang on.
Many things could happen,
That's right.
and many things could happen that messed everything up, too.
Yes. Man, so hang on. There's a lot happening. I tell you what, you need a scorecard to find out who's what, when's where.
Who's got what? Right now, we know for sure that Gene Anderson's got a headlock on Jerry Brisco, and they're happen to be close enough to the Anderson-White corner that the tag made. Bill White looking to take advantage of Jerry. He does, and slams a hammer down across that chest, and there's a famous Anderson block, so he don't get to his partner. And Gene hasn't forgot that move. Jerry drives him now close to Jack to try to get that tag.
Oh, here it comes. Nice move.
Jack drops himself
I saw Jerry. He was getting ready for that one. Snap mirror. Jack takes him over. Knee across that chest. Takes Jack. Takes
First chin
Bill
lock
White.
now.
Yeah. More I think about it, the situation with the Briscoes, Steamboat Youngblood, Sergeant Slaughter, Don Canolo. What a threesome that is.
Right now, Gene Anderson back in, and he's taking advantage of a tag. He's going to work Jack Brisco over. Boy, there's a punch to the chin. You can hear that all over our studio. A face full of turnbuckle for Mr. Jack Brisco. Gene Anderson trying to pick up the tempo, but Jack's firing back with them elbows to the midsection. Ooh, that went right on right on the cheekbone. Another one.
Whips him in. High back. Tags Jerry. Jerry comes right in. He's ready for Gene. Nice drop kick. Got him in the shoulder. Makes the tag to Bill White.
Jerry's on top of him, though. And a good kick for White. Down goes White, and he was jarred by that drop kick. Jerry moves right in, locks up the arm, double arm suplex.
Very good. Goes for that pin.
Just a 2 count, David, as White escapes.
But Jerry right back on him.
Reverse chin lock, and has control of the situation.
And that's it. Who controls
And look where
wins.
they're at in the ring. They're way about as far as away from Gene Anderson, White's partner, as they could get.
If you notice the team, too. Jack and Jerry. Very... All right, all the blows they've had, forearms, legal blows. A lot of wrestling. And that's when you go up against the Briscoes, that's what you've got. You better be ready 100% because...
And he goes into the eyes of Jack Brisco. He's going to fight away, but again, a tag was made. Gene Anderson's in.
Jack again. All right, Gene. Hard.
Jack trying to fight his way back.
Shoulder by Jack.
Short tackle
Again.
there.
Forearm again. Jack hadn't thrown a punch yet. So they're all forearms. And really, a forearm is more effective than a punch. You have more surface you can whack him in the side of the head with.
You make a lot more connection with a forearm than you do a fist or an elbow.
Just like hitting a man with a club.
You see a football lineman go through that line, they're throwing elbows.
Yes, they
Clear
are.
out that hole here. Is Brisco in with White. Oh. Boy, right in the turnbuckle and a knee from Jack Brisco in the back. The kidney area. Slows White down, up, and high in the air. Oh, there goes Bill White. Here's the tag. Here's Jerry in. Oklahoma roll.
Got it.
And it's it. The winners are the Brisco brothers. And you marvel at the masterpiece of the way they set it up. Here's Jerry going right over Bill White. Oklahoma roll, the victors of Brisco brothers.
Let's take time out for these commercial messages about the worldwide wrestling events coming up in your area.
Fans, don't miss action-packed wrestling next Saturday at 1 p.m. here on WPCQ TV. Great card, West Caldwell High School Gym, Lenoir, North Carolina, Friday, May 6th. Gene Anderson, the one-man gang, Charlotte Coliseum, Johnny Weaver, Mike Rotundo, Joe Leduc, Crazy Bugsy McGraw, Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man, Valiant, and others. Super spectacular wrestling. Charlotte Coliseum, Sunday, May 15th. You'll see a world tag team title match. Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat against Kabuki and the Magic Dragon with Gary Hart. Jack and Jerry Brisco against Jake the Snake Roberts and Dory Funk. You'll see a U.S. title match. Greg Valentine against Roddy Piper. A TV title match sending Dick Slater against Joe Deduc. Here's Dick Slater.
You know, Joe Deduc, I made a vow to myself, and I made a vow to the people in Charlotte, that every time I get in the ring from here on out, I'm going to end up hurting somebody. And Joe Leduc, you're a big, bad individual, but you're not bad enough, because I am going to take you apart this time, my friend.
And here he is, Big Joe Leduc himself.
You can say anything you want behind this microphone, but just wait May 15 and get in that ring. And I hope you get in that ring with the idea of hurting me, because I'm the same way.
Challenger Greg Valentine goes for the U.S. title against champion Roddy Piper. Here's Greg Valentine.
Better go around rubbing it in, Roddy Piper, that you beat the greatest United States champion of all time. Well, you better have a lot of pictures taken with that belt and shine it up and real nice and pretty like. Because, Piper, I'm going to take that belt away from you, and somehow, some way, if I have to grab your skinny neck and break your skinny arm or those spindly legs, somehow, some way, Piper, I'm going to hurt you and put you out of wrestling.
Here's the champion, Roddy Piper.
Thank you. Somehow, some way, if I have to grab them spindly little legs and that skinny neck, Piper, I'm gonna put you out of wrestling. Well, why didn't you do that before? Why didn't you do that when you was the champion, the greatest United States heavyweight champion of all time? Hey, I'm not taking nothing away from you. Greg Valentine is a tough man, and I ain't never got no support more than I have in my whole life, Jack, and I ain't quitting out for nothing.
Dragon, and they're going to have a time on their hands in this particular event because they got Private Nelson in there, who's no slouch and who's been trained in Sergeant Slaughter's camp for a long, long time, and Keith Larsen up against him. Fine wrestling move there, though, by the Magic Dragon, which deposits Private Nelson on the mat. We're going to have a special guest get over here. I'll try to get him a microphone for Gary Hart as the Asian team of Kabuki and the Magic Dragon go up against Jim Nelson, a real rough, tough individual himself, and Keith Larsen.
I tell you, I think this is probably two of the best young wrestlers in the business today. And like I said before, see, we only want the best. Wasn't that a great move? See, everyone says that the Kabuki and the Magic Dragon are so successful because they know the martial arts, but I think that proves they know a little bit of basic wrestling, too. Wouldn't you say that, David?
Wait, listen. I want to ask you about the moves, how they do it. What about Jimmy Valiant? How do you wrestle a man like Jimmy Valiant?
Hey, that's easy. That's easy. Any place, any time, anywhere, any of the people want to see Jimmy Valiant. I don't call him the Boogie Woogie. See, what he truly is. What I call Jimmy Valiant is the blue-eyed albino from New York City. Now, you call him Boogie Woogie Boy or whatever you want. But anytime he wants a part of anything I got, all he's got to do is just come by and say, give me some of it.
Well, I think he's already asked, and you've got the matches signed.
Yes, I most certainly do.
That's right, you've got your kendo.
You know that he's never lost a New York street fight?
That's right.
You know what a New York street fight is?
You've got those matches signed with him.
Let me say this. I don't care what he has never lost. You see, a lot of people ain't never been a millionaire. Been a lot of millionaires went broke. Been a lot of people with new cars that don't have new cars no more. A lot of people buy homes they can't pay for, you see. He's just living on short-time loan right now. And I am the dues collector, and I will see to it personally, no matter what Weaver thinks or you, David, think. I'm telling you a basic fact. There ain't nothing in America that is good as my Asian team.
All right, your Asian team, I have to admit, they're impressive. But Jimmy Valiant, when you go up against him in the New York street fight, watch out.
Well, I just hope it happens somewhere, say like Toronto, Canada, because I think the people of Toronto can look at that nip up. Isn't that beautiful?
You've got matches signed with him already in Richmond, Virginia. You've got in Greensboro, North Carolina, Charlotte, Charleston, Savannah. Just goes on and on and on.
I'll take him in
from one end to the other.
Hey, I can take him any night of the week that the man needs to get into a fight. He may be tough from New York City. Like I said, he fought through the 5 boroughs and come walking out. But ain't too many people walk through the jungles and the rice paddies of Asia and come walking out. He never walked there. Let's remember that. Jimmy Valiant didn't walk in the jungle. He walked in the city and the concrete, okay?
Hey, now Nelson has that arm.
Jim Nelson, a real rough, tough individual himself. Very strong individual, trained by Sergeant Slaughter's.
Nelson's got him. Got that arm.
This Nelson's probably one of the most powerful young men in wrestling today. Look at the body on this young man here. It's too bad that he had to leave Sergeant Slaughter. Maybe if I could talk to him, I think I could do wonders with him. I think Larsen's beyond hope, though, because too many girls want to kiss him on his little face. He's out after hello and hallelujah rather than money.
hard chop right there by the great Kabuki.
He's got it inside, working on the chest muscle.
That's right under the armpit, as I said before, that is no way that you can ever develop that portion of the anatomy. There are certain portions of your body, as you well know, John, that you cannot develop no matter how hard you try. And this young man has quite a physique on him.
There's many of them that's hard to defend, too.
It is very hard to defend. And the other thing, if you notice, if he tries to use pressure, see what happened right there? As when he tried to use his other hand to break the hold, he left himself vulnerable, and Kabuki went right after it.
All right, Larsen's coming up to his feet. He realizes he's got to get out of that hold. He's got to break it somehow.
With a punch. Isn't that the good old American way? When you can't win fair, cheat. Isn't that wonderful? That's really nice. There you go. There's a nice all-American boy, cheating, punching, kicking. I'm so glad you're high on people like that. And I'm just a little disappointed that you're such a prejudiced person.
Oh, what a drop kick.
That was not a drop kick. I'm sorry. That was a thrust, a savate kick. They do not drop kick. But I can understand it looked like one, but it wasn't.
Well, he was high in the air with that over the height of Larsen. Caught him right on the button.
This Larsen's got a great future in the wrestling business if he...
And here is the tag. This is a powerful individual in there right now. A man who doesn't care much about the rules himself. He's broke a lot of them. And he is a little fired up with the Asian team right now as Jim Nelson goes to work on the Magic Dragon.
This is very good competition. This is a competitive match because both of these young boys, Jim Nelson and his partner Larsen, are quality wrestlers in every way, but they're against something they do not understand.
That's certainly true. That it's a new, altogether different style that the wrestlers have had to cope with the Asian team in here. But it remains to be seen. Many times in other sports, a rookie comes flashing on the scene, and about the second time around, the old veterans got him figured out. And after he hits 300 the first year, he's batting 160 in the minors the second year.
So what you're trying to tell me, after a few months, everybody's going to get Kabuki and the Magic Dragon styled out, and all of a sudden they're going to just become nothings. Well, let me say this to you. A lot of people come to Asia to try to beat these two. And a lot of Americans, a lot of Canadians, a lot of Frenchmen, a lot of Russians, a lot of Germans. But none of them did it. And they spent a lot of time studying and looking. So let's don't tell everybody that the reason they're so successful is because they're unusual.
Well, it still remains to be seen. And there's a lot of smart individuals right here, wrestlers right here now. Watch this. Oh, there's the other man in the ring. Both guys are in the ring, Nelson. Come on, back it off. Come on, hey. What a thrust by Kabuki.
All right, goes down for that clear.
We have a victory right here. The team of the Great Kabuki and the Magic Dragon has defeated Jim Nelson and Keith Larsen.
With me, Gary Hart, Kabuki the Magic Dragon.
I would like to say this. I want to take this time, and I want you people to understand where I'm coming from. I want you really to write to this man or at your local television station and tell him to get the Briscos, put him on this television station so you can sit at home and see who the greatest is. Get Youngblood and Steamboat, your world's tag team champions. All ain't they great? But they haven't been in the ring with the Kabuki and the Magic Dragon. I am not saying, give me this guy, give me that guy. I'm saying you people tell me what you think can beat what I got. What do you think? Who do you think could beat him?
What, beat your team?
Yeah, you tell me. You know everything. You're so smart. You're probably one of the smartest men I ever met. In my whole life, probably you are the smartest man I ever met, so I want you to give me your opinion on who could beat them.
At Any given time.
Any given time, any given place, or every given point.
They can be beat. There's a certain time that anyone, as you well know,
But
the world heavyweight champion Ric Flair, at some point in time, somebody's going to beat him. Isn't that right?
But they haven't, have they?
Not yet. All right,
No,
but your
they
team,
haven't beat Ric Flair, have they?
But your team.
No, they haven't beat Ric Flair, have they?
At some point in time, you're going to get knocked off.
Okay, and when it happens, I will be the first to stand before you and proclaim to the world that they have been beaten by Americans, Germans, Frenchmen, Canadians, Italians, whatever. I will stand here before you and I will look you right in the face and say the smartest man that I ever met in my whole life in wrestling, David Crockett, greatest commentator, knows everything about everything. There's nothing that this man right here, ladies and gentlemen, there is not one thing that he don't know about. He knows he could be president of the world. Just give you a chance. I know you're smart. I can stand here and look and tell how smart you are. But I tell you something, see, people, sometimes they're too smart for themselves. And like I'm saying, I don't care what you say or how you want to prejudice the people and what little innuendos you want to slide out there. You people, if you know how to write, if you don't, hire a stenographer, write you a little letter, might cost you $10, $15. If you don't have it, send it in to me. I give you some money. You know, I'm loaded. I don't worry about nothing. But you're the smartest man in the world. So you tell me who is going to beat the great Kabuki and the Magic Dragon. Please, ladies and gentlemen, he don't have the answer. You know, you probably believe in Santa Claus too, don't you?
All right, well, Jack and Jerry Brisco have got a very good chance.
Oh, Jack and Jerry Brisco, Bugsy McGraw,
Yes.
and Albino from New York City.
That's right,
Jimmy Valiant, the albino boy. Yeah, you think he is so bad. Well, let me ask you something.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see
No,
you next week.
no. See,
we're
you
gonna
want to,
find
yeah, you
out.
want to say.
Worldwide Wrestling has been furnished to this station for broadcast at this time by Jim Crockett Promotions in exchange for commercial consideration.